Hello, hello. Ooh, that thing made me bouncing around. Hey, Sybil. How are you? How are you today, Sybil? Ooh. I got a new toy today. One of my good friends, hey Angela, one of my good friends, Tracy Luna, recommended that I get this, I don't know what it's called, I bought it, but it's this thing that you put your camera on and it follows you. So I'm trying this out today. I may make everybody drunk because it seems to move around a lot. Hey, Roger. Hi, Melissa. All right. I'm going to start with some bacon right here, y'all. And I'm going to put it in my air fryer for a few minutes. Just about, I don't know, 3 or 4 pieces of bacon. I don't know about this camera thing. It's following me around. It's so weird. I hope it doesn't make it distracting with it bouncing around like that. But anyways. Hey, Martha. Okay, be still, camera. I have to be still for a minute. Let it be still. Okay, y'all. I am going to make... Oh, it's shaking its head at me. Stop shaking. This could be kind of interesting, guys. It may make it too crazy. It may bounce around too much. I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think about the new camera that follows me. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to make some Brussels sprouts. And these are frozen Brussels sprouts. But I'm going to start with a little bacon first. Wow. Don't go to the bathroom. No, I don't need to go to the bathroom. That's for sure, Roger. All right, so I'm gonna put it on air crisp, and just a few minutes. I'm not gonna cook the bacon all the way through. I'm just gonna kind of get it started, and I'm gonna start cooking this bacon, and then I'm gonna take it out, and I'm gonna put in some Brussels sprouts, and I'm gonna season them, and I'm gonna put bacon back in with the Brussels sprouts. And I'm gonna let those cook. I haven't tried them in the air fryer, so I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But this is my Ninja Foodie that we talk about, that I use. It's an air fryer and a pressure cooker all in one, so that's where I'm gonna cook my Brussels sprouts tonight. On the stove, I started earlier today. It's looking for me, it's shaking around looking for me. Hey, camera, I'm right here. Okay, it's crazy, y'all. So earlier today, I started some peas. And these are fresh peas out of the garden. And so I just put them on the stove when I was on my lunch break today. And I put a couple of little pieces of ham skin and some olive oil and some salt. Hi, Mama. Hey, Hunter. And so I've been cooking these peas this afternoon. Oh, it lost me. It lost me. Hey, I'm right here, camera. So I've got some peas going. All right, camera. Stop. Maybe if I pull it a little closer to me. Maybe that'll be better. So anyway, I've got my peas going. There it goes again. This might not have been such a good idea, y'all. Okay. I'm afraid to move. We'll get a good laugh out of it anyway, won't we, y'all? I might have got the wrong one, Tracy. I just looked it on Amazon and got the one I thought it was. So, all right. So besides peas, my phone started ringing. Besides peas, we're gonna have, it may have disconnected, some smothered pork chops, and we're gonna have, you might have motion sickness. I think that phone call might have disconnected it. I don't know. We're gonna have some smothered pork chops tonight. We've got some purple whole peas out of the garden, Brussels sprouts, and I'm gonna do some fried green tomatoes. Okay, so also I'm gonna make some cornbread, so I probably should go ahead and get the cornbread on. So let me go ahead and do that. I think it's disconnected. I'll just go ahead and turn my oven on. Probably getting it on too early. Bacon's out back. Yeah, it's disconnected. So I'm gonna turn you around. He's out back and he's barking wanting in. So let me go ahead and make my cornbread. Y'all know how I make it. Put a little grease in the skillet. Go ahead and get it heating up. And then I'll go ahead and get my little bowl. Get my cornmeal. I'm just going to make a small skillet, so about a cup of cornmeal is all I'm going to use. 1 egg and some buttermilk. I'll get this cornbread on and I won't have to worry about it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I need to practice with that thing. I just got it in today when I was on my lunch break, and so I tried it a little bit, but I don't know. A buttermilk. Let me stir this up. Hi Dale, hi Marion. Yeah, that was bouncing back and forth. I don't know. I guess that phone call disconnected it though. I got some kind of phone call. It was probably a telemarketer. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that bacon back on. It's not much. Not cooked much, so I don't want it really done, but go ahead and turn it on. Put a little bit more milk in my cornbread. Make it a little thinner. Thin it up just a hair. Just a smidge. That should be good. Alright, we'll go back over to the stove. And let me go ahead and sprinkle a little dry cornmeal in here. Well, if I can. Just want a little dry cornmeal in the bottom of my skillet. It helps it from sticking. I'm just evenly getting the cornmeal scattered around. I'm going to uncover those peas. They're about done. They've been cooking since about 2 o'clock. I could have cooked them in my Ninja and put them on pressure and got them done real fast. I haven't done that yet. These were not dried peas. These were fresh peas. Actually, they were freshly frozen peas. I got them out of the freezer. We had frozen not too long ago. Go ahead and put this in the oven. I've got my oven on 500. Now generally when it reaches 500, my cornbread is done. So hopefully that'll be the case today. Okay, so next, I guess I need to go ahead. Let me check this bacon. Yeah, it's doing all right. Got cornmeal on my board. Go ahead and get this bacon out. See, it's still really floppy. It's still good and floppy. And I'm gonna go ahead and open up my Brussels sprouts. Now, if you've never ate Brussels sprouts, you need to give them a try. Don't just automatically think you don't like them. If you like cabbage, they have a similar taste to cabbage. I like Brussels sprouts, of course. I like all kinds of vegetables. So these are frozen. I'm gonna put some salt on them. I'm gonna put a little bit of garlic salt on them. Not a whole lot, because you know Donnie has that aversion. And I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle them with some black pepper. And then let me cut this bacon a little bit. It's still kind of warm. I'm not going to cut it in real small pieces. I'm just going to kind of about third the pieces. That way they're not real little. And then I'm just going to lay them around on top of it and beside it. Let it kind of fall down around the Brussels sprouts. It's got plenty of bacon in it now. And go ahead and put that down. And I'm gonna set it on air fry for, let me increase the time to 18 minutes. We're gonna let it go. I'm gonna kind of check it in between and see how it's doing. So hopefully that'll be good. That'll be our Brussels sprouts. Okay, now I'm gonna start working on the pork chops. I have made these in a crock pot a lot of times. I've made them in the oven a lot of times. I'm just gonna do them on the stove top tonight. But a lot of times you can take Lipton onion soup mix and cream of mushroom soup and put it together and put your pork chops in it and just let them bake like that, and it's really good. I'm gonna go ahead and actually fry my pork chops. I'm gonna bread them and fry them, and then I'm gonna put the mushroom soup and the onion soup mix in on top of the fried pork chops. Or I'll put it in a skillet and then put the fried pork chops in, submerge them. I'm going to take some flour. I've already rinsed my pork chops. These are just center cut. They are bone in. A little flour. Should be enough flour. I need to clean my flour bin. It's got flour everywhere. And I'm actually going to take a little bit of the soup mix, the onion soup mix, because it's very seasoned. I mean, it's a lot of seasonings. It's pretty salty. And I'm going to mix it into my flour. Not all of it, but probably about half of it. Shake that up. I'll go ahead and put a little more pepper in there. Or a lot of pepper. Stoney likes pepper, we know that. While I'm getting this ready, let me go ahead and get some grease in my skillet and get that turned on and let it start getting warm. I'm also going to just go ahead and turn my peas off because I don't want all my juice going. So I'm just going to deep fry these. I'm just going to put a little grease in the bottom of the skillet so that I can get them good and fried good, brown. let me put some more pepper in my flour. Hey Janice Bale, hey Carrie. And a little salt in there. It's probably got enough salt from that onion soup mix, but I'll just add a little more. Alright, let me grab a glove or two. Let's see now. Get my glove on. Alright, so now I'm just going to drop my pork chops in one by one. I'll just start with one and get it good and coated. You don't have to bread the pork chops. You could totally leave them unbreaded, cook them not breaded. I just wanted them breaded tonight. And I just kind of do them one at a time. That way they get good and coated. Let me check on these. They're looking pretty good. This is not how I always cook my Brussels sprouts. Sometimes I just boil them. Sometimes I cook them with some chicken broth. I've had them cooked in the oven with cheese on them. And bacon and cheese. So there's lots of ways to cook Brussels sprouts. I like Brussels sprouts. So it's one of those things that I, wouldn't have thought I would like. Because just the sound of it, just the thought of it, Brussels sprouts. But they're actually really good. Let me go ahead and put this in the sink. And we're going to go ahead and move on over to the stove. Turn this where you can see me. And get some of this stuff out of the way. Hey, Miss Pat. Okay, so hopefully the oil is hot now. I could put a pinch of flour in it and just see. Yeah, it's starting to sizzle. So I'm gonna just lay these in here. And I'm going to try to get all 4 of them in my skillet in a single layer. They might be a little crowded in, but I think I can, if I work it just right, I think I can get all 4 of them in. Just have to finagle them, and they're just right. And they may be a little crowded, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, I've got it pretty high heat right now. I'm not going to cover it. I'm going to leave it on kind of high heat for a minute and let it brown on one side. And then I'll take a fork, flip them over and let them brown on the other side. And then I may knock the heat down just a hair and put a lid over them, and that lets them kind of cook and get tender. That lid just kind of helps it along. So we're going to let that go for a minute. While I'm waiting on that, actually I've got some grease already in this skillet, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that one on. Here we go. Go ahead and turn that one on and let it start getting warm. Because I'm going to work on my fried green tomatoes. I guess I'll get another bag. I should have, and some more gloves probably. I'm going to take some cornmeal and just a little bit of flour, not much, probably a couple tablespoons of flour maybe. and seasoned salt and pepper and garlic, and that's how I'm going to season up the breading for these fried green tomatoes. Now I've got kind of deep, hey Sherry, I've got my oil kind of deep over there for these because I'm kind of not really deep frying them, but yet I am. So here we go. And I should have got out a platter to put them on, but I didn't. I can hear somebody. He's barking. He's out back. I put him out back for a little while. You go ahead and grab me a couple tablespoons of flour. My flour thing really needs thrown in the dishwasher. I'm a messy cook. I get it everywhere, so I get it all over the top of it. All right. So now I'm just going to use some seasoned salt. Make sure I don't get too much. A little garlic salt. A little black pepper. I'm gonna give this a shake to mix all the salts together, and then I'm just gonna take them. Let me go ahead and grab me a glove, at least one glove. Charlie won't eat fried green tomatoes. What's wrong with that boy? So I'm just going to take my green tomato and kind of just flip it around in there. Is he a white? I didn't think white boys would cull fried green tomatoes. Hi, Miss Connie. I like fried green tomatoes too. I love them. But man, if you go to a restaurant and buy them, they'll give you like 3. And they charge you a lot. I'm like, I don't understand. I mean, literally, like, I went to a restaurant here a while back and I got fried green tomatoes. I had 3 pieces on my plate. Do I look like a girl that's only going to eat 3 fried green tomatoes? I think so. All right, let's go on over to the stove. I'm going to go ahead and flip my pork chops while I'm here. We're doing pretty good. That thing almost got too brown. We'll be careful. So I'm going to let these brown for just a minute or 2 on this side, and then I'll put a lid over them. Okay, I don't know if this grease is getting hot yet or not, but I'm going to give it a try. And it can go another minute. I'm going to let it warm up for just another minute. Let me go ahead and grab my lid. The one I want. Oh, here it is. Here it is. It's like working a puzzle. It's like working a puzzle with all my pots and pans. I'm going to go ahead and crank it down a little bit because that skillet's good and hot. There we go. I'm just going to let them cook for a minute. Hi, Shelly. Let me check on this. These are looking pretty good. I'm going to toss them around a little bit. I'm doing it left-handed, and I am not left-handed, so I'll probably have it flopped out everywhere. All right, turn those back on. Now, these are starting to fry good. And these are good and wet, so I didn't have to do an egg wash or anything like that. So it should stick to them pretty good. Just have to check on those pork chops again. They're still frying pretty high. I may need to crank them down a little bit more. I'm going to grab a few more of these. I'm just going to carry these over here. Cornbread's done. Probably should have waited a minute about putting it on, but it's one of those things where everything's going to kind of start going at once and go kind of fast, so you got to keep your eye on everything tonight. Get my skillet full of fried green tomatoes over here. And I'm going to check on my pork chops. I like to kind of go under them in case they're trying to stick a little bit. I'm not real concerned about the breadings just staying on good tonight. If I was, I wouldn't have crowded it so much in the skillet. But I just want it to have some good breading on it here and there. Alright, let me go ahead and put my lid back on there. I don't want to get my heat too low, but I don't want it too high either. Let me go ahead and start flipping some of these. I could have, just done the cornmeal without the flour. I've done that too, but I added a little flour to it tonight. Alright, let me grab my cornbread out of the oven because it's done. Let's go ahead and turn over here. Let me grab me a plate for it. The cornbread. It's done. Go ahead and cut it so it don't sweat too much. Good hot cornbread. It's no better than it is right this minute. Get some butter and put on there. Man, that's good stuff. Alright, I'm just going to set that on the back for a little bit. Alright, let's flip some of these. Those are getting good. I'm going to grab a plate and some paper towels, put those on. Go ahead and get some more started. check on these. They're looking pretty good. I mean, it's time they got left on. They're about to go off. Let me grab some of these out. Whoop, lost one. Come back here. I'm out of the scene. I didn't know I was out of the scene over there. Yo, Lisa. Lisa, my little thing that follows me around, it disconnected. Somebody called me and it made it disconnect. So we're back to the old stuff now. Also, Lisa, it was going, I don't know, it was kind of crazy. All right, these pork chops, I'm fixing to pull them out, and then I'm going to put my cream and mushroom soup in there and put them back in. That was Scott. Yo, yo, Scott. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull these out for a minute. I turned them down too low, probably. Crank it back up a little bit. Should have put a paper towel under these. Okay. Alright, y'all. Everything's coming together at one time here. I got to put some more tomatoes in my grease. Let me turn that down a minute. Sometimes that's just how it works, you know. Everything starts going haywire. Sometimes I have to take one thing off an eye right quick and take care of something. I think I put a little too much flour in these. They'll be good, but I think I'd rather have them with a little less flour. They're getting a little clumpy. Let me flip that one and that one. That one. Those have been in there a little while. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and drop my mitt in the floor. I'm going to go ahead and pour this grease off. Let me pour it over here in this bowl. There's that bowl. Because I don't want it greasy. But I'm leaving, like where I fried the pork chops, I'm leaving that in the bottom. Uh-oh, I lost my eye went out. I'll have to relight that sucker in a second. So I'm fixing to put in some cream of mushroom soup and the rest of my Lipton onion soup mix and a little milk in my skillet. It's gonna make like a gravy. Hey Peggy. Hey Jeff Crane. So let's get this going. And you could actually, might just mix it in a little mixing cup here so that I can mix my milk and my soup and everything up really good. So that's 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. I heard the Pioneer woman, Ree Drummond, I heard her say that she had tried to make, I gotta go check on my tomatoes, they're getting crazy over here. She had tried to make homemade cream of mushroom soup, and she said she could do it, but the stuff you buy in the can is always so much better. Why mess with it? Like when you're gonna make casseroles and stuff like that. So these are good and golden. Let me move these over. Whoop. golden. Let me go ahead and get the rest of these. Tell you what, it's got a little clumpy, so I'm going to add a little more cornmeal to it. Just to thin it out a little bit. As you put your wet stuff in, it makes it get a little clumpy sometimes. And that's why I said I think I put too much flour in it, because the flour, when it gets wet, gets a little clumpy. I just put a little more salt in there. Let me get these babies out before they're past their prime. This is how I would always tell Donnie. He says I burn something. I'm like, well, that's the way I like it. So he'll say, well, it's a good thing. And leave those in there just a second till I get it more ready to go. I've got my other skillet turned off right now, so we're okay on that. We'll finish those pork chops up here in a minute. Hi, Miss Brenda. Hey, Sarah Carol. All right. Well, I make a mess in the flour and everywhere when I cook with flour and meal. But that's what makes it good, maybe, I don't know. I'm about there, y'all. Let me grab these two out. And I think I can get the rest of these in here. I think we'd be all right if we didn't cook the rest of them. I think I've got plenty, but I'm gonna cook them. Okay, that should be good. Now back to what I was doing here. I've got a can of cream of mushroom soup in my cup. I'm gonna put probably about a can of milk in it too, and I'm gonna mix in the other half of my Lipton onion soup mix. And I'm just gonna kind of take my whisk and work it so it's not too clumpy. A little bit more milk. Thin it out a little. Alright. Let me go ahead and turn these babies. Now I had thought about, on these pork chops, I had thought about slicing up some mushrooms and making them, putting extra mushrooms in them because I've got the mushroom soup, but I didn't. I didn't tonight. Alright. Maybe I won't blow myself up. There we go. Sometimes the stove gets a little icky. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pour that in my skillet. This is where I fry my pork chops. Kind of mix that around. And I'm going to go ahead and start just putting my pork chops in there with it. And let me get a spoon. I'm going to just kind of spoon some of it up over it and put the lid back on it for a few minutes. You can also put this in the oven if you want to. And it's totally fine. I hear Fagin, don't y'all? Alright. I've made a total complete mess out of my stove tonight. I'm going to let that just get warm and kind of bubble, and it should pretty much be done. Let me go ahead and grab the rest of these tomatoes. Let me throw some of these over on my side. Those should be done too. And you definitely want to drain them on a paper towel. Don't look pretty. You don't want all that grease. And I always like move the ones over that I've had out draining for a little bit. Instead of, I don't want to put these on top of them because the grease will just go down into them. So as I'm frying anything like that, what I've had sitting draining, I'll move it over and put this on, put the new on the paper towels. But there they are. There's the fried green tomatoes. Okay, so Fagin's beating the door down. Fagin, it's all right, buddy. He's beating the door down. Oop, got my camera wobbly. All right, let's check on these. I don't know. I'm gonna just see. I think they're done. They are done. And they're good. They would totally be good with cheese on them. I think they need a little bit more salt, honestly. I think it'll be fine to go ahead and salt them a little bit right now, because they're still warm and the salt will kind of melt down into them. It should, so that should be fine. Now let's check on the, I said I wasn't going to bring this over here because my stove's so dirty, but see how those are bubbling? Just going to let them bubble, bubble, bubble for a little bit. So, supper is really ready. I'm going to go ahead and let Fagin in because he's beating on the door. Supper's pretty much ready, guys. I'll go ahead and grab a plate, fix it up. Plate do I want tonight? I think I want this one. All right. We'll just start with these. So tonight we've got some Brussels sprouts and bacon that I cooked in the air fryer. And I got some fried green tomatoes that I didn't cook in the air fryer. These are legit fried green tomatoes. Oh, and that was a good one. I just dropped it in the floor. It was a pretty one. There's some fried green tomatoes. All right, I got my pork chops a bubbling back here. They really, they would be good with some mashed potatoes too, but make mashed potatoes. And then my peas. And grab a few of those out. And of cornbread. And the corner piece, that's my piece, remember? There we go, y'all. There's supper. So, hope y'all enjoyed it. Give me about a piece. These are purple whole peas. Very good. Plate's getting hot on my hand. Very good fried green tomatoes. Brussels sprouts, of course. Now, let me try the pork chops. I don't want to make a mess because I want to make a picture. Let me get a corner right here you won't be able to tell. Like I said, these are center cut pork chops, bone in. You cannot beat the combination of creamy mushroom soup and Lipton onion soup mix. I love that combination. So, there we go. It's supper time. You go ahead and turn these down. Off, actually. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And hopefully I can get this camera thing figured out and it won't bounce back and forth like that. Anyway, maybe I can. Y'all come back and join me later in the week. I'll be back. And not sure what I'm going to fix, but hopefully it'll be good. And hopefully we'll laugh a little bit. Hope y'all have had a great Tuesday. And if you don't mind, add Tracy Luna to your prayer list. He's a former classmate of mine, and I consider him a friend. And he's going through some treatments right now, so just add Tracy to your prayer list. And y'all have a great rest of the week. Stay positive. Come back and join me. Thursday, maybe I'll be back. So, bye-bye, everybody. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.